Well, you're tuned in to the Barry and Joe show, and once again, we have a fun interview. It's Hamish Anderson.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Good, thank you.
All
So,
right. So Hamish is originally. I'm just gonna jump on in. Is that okay?
yeah, go
Yeah.
for it, man. Tell us who
Okay.
Hamish is, please.
All right. Okay. So I don't know a whole lot about Hamish. He knows way more about himself than I do. So we'll let him say that. All I know is that he is from Australia and he's a rocker and he plays guitar like I can talk really, really well. So, Hamish, thanks for coming over. I know, but right now you're from Australia, but right now you're in Los Angeles, right?
I am, yeah, currently in LA.
LA, you're getting ready for your big tours right now. So tell us first um, where you came from, how you started with guitar, and then how you found yourself 5,000 miles away from home over in our little city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, well, I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and started playing guitar when I was about 12 years old after hearing the Beatles' White album. That was kind of
Ooh,
the light
that's a
bulb moment for me, hearing
that
that.
was a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah. And yeah, I came over to the States in 2014 to do a little kind of like radio tour with some other Australian bands, and then since then I just kind of found myself getting more and more work over here, and always coming from Australia and always loving American music like blues and rock and roll and everything. I think it was just a good place to kind of be based, and yeah, just kind
Well,
of
hold
since
on.
then just been working.
2014. What were you, like a teenager then? Like, cause you're
I
not.
was young. Yeah, I was probably, I think I was like 22 or something like that.
How about?
Wait, you're not 22 now?
No,
Man,
I
you
wish I
have
was
like
22
you
now.
have Paul Rudd disease. You're gonna be like 50, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, dude, you're like 20," and you're like, "No, I'm 50." Man, that's gonna be
Hopefully.
awesome.
One can only wish.
So, okay, so you had some great influences coming up, and I'm reading your bio here. They say you sound like Badfinger and the
Ooh.
Pretenders and Pete Townshend, isn't that right? I mean, that is high praise, Hamish.
Yeah, I mean that's the stuff I love. I love, a lot of that 60s, like I was saying, the Beatles and Badfinger and Cream and Hendrix and all that kind of, yeah, 60s stuff. And then the really old blues stuff, John Lee Hooker, BB King, and new stuff like, Alabama Shakes and all that stuff. So there's, yeah, lots of good influences.
So amazing, man. And you're on tour, you're going on tour with Gary Clark Jr., from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a couple of shows. I got lucky to open some shows for him in Australia in 2019. So this will be the first time kind of back with Gary since then. And then after that, going on tour, I've been on tour a lot of this year with George Thorogood and the Destroyers. So yeah, very
Wow.
lucky to be playing with two kind of
Incredible.
iconic artists.
So wait, hey, does George ever invite you up on stage?
He does. I've been, yeah, very lucky that
No
he's invited
way.
me up. Yeah, every night basically on the tour. For the last song, we do "Born to Be Bad" together, and he gets right in my
No,
face and
dude.
makes me take a solo. And it's great.
Wow. He's like, oh yeah, Hamish solo. Oh man, this George fucking Thorogood being like, hey man, yeah, solo.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
he's
incredible. Like,
telling you, this guitar player, one of the most famous in the world, is telling you, another guitar player, just take the solo. Wow,
yeah,
that's
pretty big
fantastic.
shoes. Yeah, no, it's cool.
I
So
love that.
what's the what is one of the okay, so you've been around, you've been here since 2014, you got caught here in COVID and you just basically decided, hey, I'm in America, I'm just gonna stay. So
Oh,
you played
actually,
it.
I it's
Oh,
funny. It's kind of the opposite. I went back actually during
oh,
COVID. I was
okay.
back in Australia for that whole time, and yeah, we went through like a very long
Did
lockdown in
did the US
Australia.
kick you out?
No, it kind of coincidentally turned out I was back for Christmas, and then you check
Ah,
your clock, and 3 years have gone by, and yeah,
yeah.
pandemic. So, yeah,
But you were able to get back and you're getting
yeah.
out on tour again. Now, if you had to choose, I mean, you've been around. It looks like, I'm looking at your list right here of stuff coming up, and it looks like you got some really good venues on the list here. And I'm a big concert venue guy. I find them really fascinating, like the architecture and locations and stuff like that. On your upcoming tour, what place are you looking forward to seeing or playing at the most?
There's, I think it's in Massachusetts. There's a place called the Melody Circus tent that's meant to be like a gigantic old circus tent that is a venue apparently. So I've heard very good things about this place, so I'm excited to play there.
I have never heard of it. I'm looking it up right now. Hold on. Circus
There's 1,000
tent.
places everywhere you go. Like there's all these really quirky spots that you can play at that a bunch of people can show up to. I love how music has evolved in that way, where you don't have to go to like a theater. You can go to like another place and they embrace music, right?
That's true. Yeah. No, it is pretty amazing. Yeah. This place is called, it's in Cohasset, Massachusetts, and it's called the South Shore Music Circus.
Right. Okay. Because I'm bringing up Melody Tent too. Oh man, this is like really fun.
Anything with a circus in it is exciting.
Anything with a circus in it would be fun. That's fantastic. Yeah, no, I love that. And Barry, we were talking to bands recently that are talking about putting on shows in different venues. Like, hey, let's get 200 people together at a winery and just like do a sunset set, and it's stuff like that. And I love that because I like bringing music to where people are and different locations and being outdoors. It just sounds like so much fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. Very much post-COVID as well. I feel like everything kind of became a venue, so it definitely changed it a bit.
Yes, I'm just really sad that they took away all of the outdoor seating at restaurants here already.
That's true.
Really bummed about it.
Back to normal.
I know, so sad.
So Hamish, okay, so you're from Australia, you're from Melbourne, Australia. We have a band friend named Sam Shinazi, and I think that he's in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
He was talking to us about how small the music scene is in Australia, but then again how big it is. For example, bands come in and they from other countries, they completely dominate the venue and really spotlight some Australian artists around them. It seems like a really good scene down there. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, it definitely is a good scene. I mean, it's definitely small, I guess, in comparison to over here and other places, but I mean, especially particularly Melbourne and Sydney, I guess, are kind of like the LA and New York of Australia. But there's really great music comes out of Perth as well. I think Tame Impala came out of Perth, and there's just a very healthy music scene. And the good thing is Americans in particular seem to love Australian artists, so they really do embrace them and are very welcoming to them, I've found.
Yeah, that's been going on. That's been going on since the '80s. Midnight Oil. That was like one of my first bands ever.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Hamish, do you consider yourself an import? Because I think you're living in LA now. Is that right? What part of town did you end up landing in?
Hollywood, basically. I ended up, just around here, and no, definitely. I mean, LA from the get-go for me, I was just blown away by how kind the musicians were and the kind of scene here, and then also people, the listeners and everything, and felt very nice to come over here and just be lucky to each year have a little more work come in. And there's just so many places you can play like around America. It's you can get in the van and just go and hit so many places. And there's just in LA every night of the week there's amazing artists playing and venues and everything, so it's very inspiring.
You brought oh, go ahead.
How long have you been here in Hollywood?
Well, pre-COVID, I was here from 2014 to 2019. Okay. And then now I came back for the first time in March of this year.
Okay, so you had figured it out, and then you came back for more. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, but you bring up a good point. Why not come back for more when you find a music community that is really supportive? And I don't think that people think about or look at LA and be like, and are like, oh, hey, the people there are going to be really nice and really kind to me, and everyone's going to be really supportive. Because it's like, a lot of people have in their head like LA, oh, it's so cliquey there, it's all scene, it's interesting. But when you actually get into it and you meet the bands here and you meet people at venues, you find out that they are actually very supportive of other artists, and everybody in that community is like helping to connect dots, making sure like, oh, you don't know this venue owner? Oh, let me introduce you. Oh, you don't know this session drummer? Oh, he's going to be great on your next, few shows if you need him. Everybody's trying to connect the dots in LA, and I don't think that's something that a lot of people realize.
No, I certainly didn't. I thought it would be exactly like you were saying, very cliquey and standoffish. But very much like Hotel Cafe was one of the first places I played here, and the community of musicians there, and like Gia who runs it, and Dan and all those people. They're all very, very welcoming, and just it's like a little really nice community.
Yeah, so many bands got their start at Hotel Cafe. I can't remember any of them right now off the top of my head.
Berry.
Yeah,
Katy Perry was there all the time. Oh man, she was like one of their big ones. Yeah.
Well, okay, so and then I look at your trajectory, Hamish. Like, okay, Badfinger, the Pretenders, Pete Townshend. They're all bands from around here, I assume, but it's none of the.
Yes, Pete Townshend grew up in Los Angeles.
But no, it's not the Laurel Canyon of that time. So.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my point. Is what has now that you're in LA and you see all the influences and stuff, do you see a lot of that Laurel Canyon stuff, or have you met anybody from the past that is like, wow, you're a great guitar player, let me tell you a story?
Yeah, who have I met from the past? I mean, one of the first people that kind of really blew me away that I met when I was first here was Lucinda Williams, who's just like an incredible songwriter. Yeah, I got to hang out with her one night, and that was just wild. And it's like
that doesn't suck.
New school, old sound. What do you call it? Exactly. Americana? Is it Americana?
I think Americana. So. Yeah, it's got rock and roll and country and all that stuff, blues in it. And Gary was one as well. I met Gary.
Night? What?
Oh yeah, for one night in LA, it was pretty cool. And I met Gary Clark very early on when I came across to America for the first time, and he knew my manager, and he came to one of my shows, and like that was, as far as modern guitar heroes go, he's like top of the list. So that was really, really crazy to get to meet him and play with him and talk about guitars and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's true. You guys like it. I forgot. Guitarists like to talk about guitars.
Yeah,
I actually grew up in Fullerton, like right down the street from Fender, and so it's like that's like one of my big, I guess, claim to fame. Fullerton's got a few things going for it: Fender, Social Distortion, and some members of No Doubt. That's what we got. That's what Fullerton's known for.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We got in that song, the Social Distortion song, Story of My Life, he talks about a pool hall that was now a 7-Eleven. I remember that. I know exactly where that pool hall used to be. I know where that 7-Eleven is still there. So yeah, it's nice hearing songs about, the town you grew up in.
Yeah, very cool.
So, okay, so you sit around meeting all these guitarists. What do you talk about? Pedals? Like, I'm always fascinated to find out what guitarists talk about. Do you talk about notes or how you play them? Like, what is
pickups? They talk about pickups, Barry.
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm the least like guitar. I love playing guitars. I feel like I don't know anything like technical wise about guitars or pedals. So, I mean, a lot of the times it's just talking about music, I guess, talking about Albert King or BB King or whoever it is, and just records that people love and people turning you on to different stuff. And I guess that type of talk usually is more of the stuff than talking shop, I guess.
Yeah,
so I mean, you gotta. I feel that you like every now and then you pick up the guitar and you show someone a riff and stuff like that. Are you teaching people? Are you learning stuff from other people about how to play?
Most of the time learning, I think, from other people. I'm always trying to pick up anything I can from anyone that kind of moves me, and then take it away and try and, usually you get one or two notes wrong, and that's what kind of makes it uniquely yours. So I'm always trying to steal anything I can from anyone at any time.
It's not steal, you're borrowing.
Yeah, exactly. Fancy word for steal.
You're borrowing.
And, because Hamish is on the way up, he's still making music and stuff. He's still you're in the middle of it, man. A lot of times we talk to people that are like in between things, but you're like right in the middle of it. So that's amazing to me.
Yeah, no, it's especially now, it's just like, being on tour with two artists that are just people I really, really admire, and it's just very inspiring every night being able to, you know, watch them play and play for their audience. And yeah, it does feel very exciting at the moment.
And I wanted to talk to you more about your new producer, David Davis, because personally, Miguel is an artist that I think is way under the radar. I don't know what he's done in the last 10 years, but man, the production behind anytime that a producer can produce R&B music and whatever this is, Americana, indie, rock, alternative, anytime a producer knows how to do both, I mean, you set him in high regard, right? How did you come up with David Davis? Was this like a meeting in an alley somewhere? Or...
meeting in an alley. It's all back.
It might have been in an alley, actually. It was probably at there's a studio called East West here in Hollywood. They do have a good alley that we probably were hanging out back there. But I met him early on, kind of when I came to LA. And before even we were working together, we just kind of became friends and just had a very similar sense of humor and liked a lot of the same music, but also a lot of different music. So it was cool that we could kind of, you know, like he turned me on to Miguel, which, yeah, was really cool. And yeah, when it came time to do the new music I'm doing now, David he was the person that I really wanted to work with, because I felt like we could take all the kind of old influences that I have of, you know, that 60s, 70s stuff, but also David's really good at putting it in a modern package as well. So it could be played with Alabama Shakes or Gary's music or whoever it is, and it would still fit in.
So we're not listening to like an indie rock station and then one of your songs comes on and we're like, what is this? No, it's just like it's just like right in. It's not like, hey, this is a flashback song that I've never heard before. Wait, no. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we wanted to, you know, if you're listening to Arctic Monkeys or whoever's new, you could put it on next to it and hopefully it will sound like it could be on the same kind of playlist or jukebox or whatever.
No, okay. Can we dream here for a heartbeat here? I want to ask you, Hamish, like, okay, so I'm assuming that you're about my age or younger. I'm 41. I think you're way younger.
Hopefully younger, way younger.
Way
younger. Way younger. Let's go way younger.
If you could tour, I'm going to say if you could open, because you're at that point right now, if you could open for anybody, like your record label says, hey, you have a golden ticket. Who do you want to open for on their next tour? Is there somebody specific? Are you that kind of guy where you're like, oh, I really want to, is there somebody in mind?
Beyonce.
Yeah. Exactly. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's the right answer. I think the ultimate for me, I mean, the Rolling Stones for me are like, I love the Rolling Stones, and yeah, they're just, when you think about in that caliber of artist and legacy, and
doable for you, Hamish. Like, have you researched that?
Fingers crossed. I'd love to. Hopefully, maybe one day if I'm lucky.
Now, do you still think Mick has it?
I do. I think he's a freak of nature.
I'm gonna start, Bear. I am gonna start.
I don't know. I think, anyone I think he's 80 and he looks like he's 30. It's pretty.
I know.
insane.
And then you got Keith, who looks like he's 237 years old and still alive. So it's crazy.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know how it's possible.
But, I just don't. I don't believe. I can't imagine that we're in the same world that most of the Beatles are in. Half of the Beatles are in, and all of the Rolling Stones are. All of them, right? Every single one of them are still around. Is that right?
No, except Charlie and Brian.
Charlie just died.
It's a good track record, though.
Yeah,
So the fact that they had, with Charlie just passing, they were a band together for what? 51 years, I think. No, 40, something like somewhere between like 45 and 52 years, all together in the same band. No one left. No one came. That's insane to me.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Barry?
Oh, I'm here. No, I was here.
We were all just thinking about the Rolling Stones. Drifted into the thought.
I wanted to talk more about the Rolling Stones, but that's okay.
Okay, well, hey, I got one more question about the Rolling Stones. My favorite song is "Give Me Shelter."
Yeah.
What song? What is your favorite Stone song then?
Song to play, please. What song do you like?
Oh, song to play. Yes, song to play.
Oh man, it changes day to day. I think Can't You Hear Me Knocking is pretty, that's a pretty hot riff straight in from the start.
Okay. Yeah. I got to look that song up. That sounds like a deep cut.
Oh, that's a good one. That's on Sticky Fingers. That's a real good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Well, Hamish, I want to talk about your merch because a lot of times we have bands come merch around and they're either or in their merch department, and both departments are fine. Like you can say like, yeah, we have a merch department and I don't deal with it. You know, I have a whole crew, and some of them are really deep invested in their merch. What about you? Tell us about your merch.
Yeah, I'm much more into it now, I think, than very early on. So yeah, we've got like I'm now, you know, always involved in whatever's gonna go out and be seen. We've got like a new T-shirt that's like kind of like an illustration of me playing guitar. That's been really good on the road. Lots of people seem to like that. And my last album release was 2019. My second album, Out of My Head. So a lot of the merch is still kind of based on that design. And then I've just finished in the past couple of months, just finished recording what will be my new album. So now it's the time, you know, we're going through figuring out the cover art and all that stuff. So I think that will probably dictate where everything's going now.
Do you enjoy that process?
I do. I both enjoy it, and it can also be a little bit like banging your head against a wall because it's, you know, it's sometimes hard to come up with some sort of artistic statement that sums up, you know, 12 songs or whatever it is. But always once you get there in the end, it's very exciting once it's all kind of done and you figure it out.
Oh, here's a question. Are you creating singles or are you making albums? Like are the songs on your album all focused on like one kind of storyline, or are you making singles and smashing them all together?
No, most of the time I think when it comes time to do an album, I really do believe in making a solid piece of work that is an album. And the songs don't have to have a story, but they all have to kind of link in some sort of way, whether it's, you know, they just have a similar feel or they have elements, you know, that during COVID, what was different is I put out 3 singles during COVID, and that was very much just singles that now kind of live as their own thing. And I'd never done that before. Everything before that was always about the album. Everything was going to be about the album. But during COVID, because all bets were off and, you know, you didn't know what was going to happen, that was kind of interesting to explore, just working with singles and just thinking about single songs as their own thing. But most of the time I prefer working in the album format.
Yeah, because everything has changed in the dawn of streaming media, where some bands are critically thinking about every song and how to release it and how to make the most amount out of it. There's a whole science to that side of it. And I don't know if it takes away from the creative art process myself.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think just because I grew up loving, you know, I loved and I still love putting on an album, like listening to Dark Side of the Moon or
you're a vinyl guy. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like I'm the same way. I'm like there are some albums that are just like you listen to front to back. You know, it's there's some epics like couple Green Day albums are like that. There's some Zeppelin albums that are like that as well. That you're just like, if you can't just listen to Have a Cigar. You know, you gotta listen to, you know, the entire scope of Shine On Crazy Diamond to see what Pink Floyd's actually thinking.
Yeah, you go on that little journey, and it's like a movie. You put it on and start to finish.
Movie in your head,
totally. Start to finish. That's the key word. Start to finish. I like the way you think, Hamish.
There we go. We're cooking with gas now.
Did you start playing the guitar when you were like 6? Because that's
12. He said 12.
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
Okay. I was just gonna make sure if you were cheating or not. Because
no, when I was 6, I was probably like eating dirt or playing with worms or something. I wasn't advanced enough to play guitar at 6.
So do you consider yourself from LA now, since you've been here almost 10 years? I mean, not considering the COVID. Nobody counts the COVID time.
That's true. It's last time.
You know,
No,
wait,
I think
wait.
I always consider myself Australian. I think Australia is always home, but yeah, LA, I guess, is home away from home.
And you can't consider yourself an actual Los Angelino unless you've seen a few things.
That's
Now,
true.
let's see. Have you ever seen Angeline in her pink Corvette?
I have.
Oh.
I have seen
You
it.
have? Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
that is a mark. You have seen.
Yeah.
Okay, you've seen it. Have you ever seen Jay Leno in a full Canadian tuxedo?
Never in real life. Thankfully.
Never in real life. Okay, you still have to do that one.
It'll
Have you ever seen a pigeon stealing like a piece of pizza or pasta or something like that?
A seagull.
No, but that would be very impressive.
Or a seagull. Oh, a seagull stealing food out of your hand is also considered, a California thing.
I have seen
nothing
a
like that?
seagull stealing
Oh,
food.
you have to. Okay,
I
that's
haven't
another point
experienced
for
it
you.
Okay, I'm
myself,
gonna
but I've
ask you
seen
the
someone
real one.
else. Yeah.
I got a
Okay,
real
what's a
one.
real one? Okay, you got a real one?
Have you ever
Real ones. What are you talking about?
have you ever driven down the street and went, "Oh, I should not drive down this street"? Oh,
No, luckily not.
Have you ever said, I should probably just take Fountain? That's also something. The last one I got for you is, have you ever seen a palm tree engulfed in flames, but nothing else around it on fire?
No, but I'm waiting for the day.
You're waiting for the day. That's the last one. If you see that, then you are a true Los Angelino. You got a lot of other points already going for you. So
There we
just
go.
look
Made
out
it.
for that palm tree on fire.
I'll be looking.
All right, Hamish. So let's talk about your new album, man. It's coming out. It's available now, isn't it?
Oh no, it's going to be next year, I think, at this stage.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about Everything Starts Again.
Yeah, so that was one of those singles. I did 3 singles during the COVID years, and that's kind of the last of those singles.
Okay, it's 3 of 3, huh? How did the other
Yeah.
what are you playing them in, like, around town?
Are they in regular rotation?
Yeah, a little bit. It's funny, like I think this is probably similar with a lot of musicians and writers. Because of COVID, you wrote so much music that there's such a massive backlog now. So now it's like, I remember the days pre-COVID when sometimes you would worry about having enough songs to fill out a whole set. And now it's like I have so many songs and so many new songs. So we've kind of been rotating them in and out, and then amongst the new stuff that will be the actual album next year.
Oh, hey, who are you playing with when you're going out? That's right, because it's not like just you on stage. You got to have people playing drums and stuff too, right?
Yeah, we're playing as a trio most of the time. So it's just guitar, drums, bass. So the drummer's name is Pete Marin, and the bassist, the bassist who I've been playing with for a long time. Her name's Lauren Stockner.
Hi, Lauren. Thanks for playing with Hamish. It's really nice of you guys to give your talent.
Are they from here or from there?
Pete he's from Australia originally, and Lauren's from over here.
Okay, so it's 2/3 of you guys talking about Australian things offset.
Exactly. Yeah, and then just one Long Islander.
one of them's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, they're like, like, hey, Mr. Paul, they're like, oh man, next time we go home, we should go out down to Port Fairy and try to play a show down there. It's a really nice road trip. I'm big on geography. I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, you're talking about that. Lauren's over here like, what are you guys talking about? I have no idea, man. I just want to go back to Colorado and maybe get some beers and stuff. I don't know.
He almost said like they're in the room.
I don't even know.
So it's like she's.
Well, okay. So you have an album coming out next year. That's 2024, Hamish. That's a long time.
What?
It's not that far away, is it?
No, I know. The scary thing is, it isn't that far away now.
Is David Davis producing it?
He did, yeah. David and me produced the whole thing together, and we did, basically it was all kind of live as like the trio setup, and then a little bit of keys and strings and stuff on it afterwards. But it's very electric guitar, drum heavy, and very, very rock and roll type of stuff.
Is it Black Keys style, like early White Stripes style?
Yeah, a little bit kind of Black Keys-ish, or a little bit Zeppelin-y, or
give me some Zeppelin-y. Yeah, man, you're gonna be my new running music.
That's
I'm like, I've blown through all the Zeppelin that I can listen to. I need some good running music, so I think I'm gonna work on over to Hamish now, and you're gonna power me up hills, man. It's gonna be awesome.
There you go. As you see a palm tree on fire, you'll be listening to me
As
in
I
the
see a palm
background.
tree on fire, see, yes, I love it. See, bringing it right back.
Now, Hamish, do you write all this stuff too? Because as a guitarist, that's a double brainer. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you can just play guitar, sometimes you could just sing. But what are you writing these songs also? And where does that come from?
Yeah, all of them. Music and lyrics. I write all that stuff. And...
You're not buying them from Katy Perry?
No, I should though. It could be easier. I should have asked her at Hotel Cafe. But it's. I mean, writing for me, that's one of the most enjoyable parts. I just love that. The thing of starting with nothing and then coming away with something. And yeah, I love writing, and I think that was why early on, I really loved the Beatles and the Stones and all that stuff, was just because they wrote all their own songs, and they were just these incredible songs that I love the writing part of it.
Okay, I'm going to assume you're of the social media generation. How are you doing in that department? Are you on all the social media? Do you engage?
Are you making the TikToks?
I'm hesitant about the TikToks. I am on there. I don't use it too much just because I feel like I just don't understand it. Some people get right into it and know what to do. I don't really understand it. But most of the time, I like Instagram the most. I feel like that's kind of, I enjoy Instagram and posting on there and getting engagement. And I enjoy curating, having on Instagram, I can just do stuff about guitars and whatever. So yeah, I like Instagram the most.
When you're traveling around, are you trying to find like interesting shots in the cities that you're going to? Like, this is a random park with some crazy cemetery in the middle. I'm going to go take a picture in it. Like, I don't
a little
know.
bit. Yeah, I've been more conscious of that now. That I'm terrible at taking. I always forget to take photos or videos and stuff. So I'm trying to be more conscious now on the road of documenting things and sharing it.
It's always fun. I always go back to the Glenn Phillips social media page from Toad the Wet Sprocket. And he's on tour. He starts his video off with like, "Hey, Glenn Phillips here. I'm obligated to do a social media."
Exactly. That's how it feels. That's a good way to put it.
He really doesn't like doing it. He's like, I am just here because I have to be, because my manager told me to.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah, very true.
But it's funny. It's funny. Okay, so let's talk about Everything Starts Again. Where did the inspiration come from there? Because it's a little older. It's not part of the new stuff, which I hope we'll have you on again when the new stuff comes out, right? But
yeah, I'd love to.
Let's talk about Everything Starts Again.
Yeah. Well, that one was when I was in Australia for lockdown. We went through in Melbourne particularly, we went through a really long, broken up a little bit, but the better part of 12 months or something spread over 2 years was just being in lockdown. So you couldn't really do anything or see anyone. And so I had to kind of stay sane, just, in my house by myself, just making music. And a lot of that music I made during that time was very positive, I think, because everything was so negative that I just went, well, I have to have some sort of hope. So Everything Starts Again is kind of that type of song. And it's really about, when you think everything's all over or you think it's the end, something will happen and everything will be okay again. So it's just kind of about how everything goes in cycles. Yeah, it's always changing.
Everything starts again. Very apropos for the end of the world starting over.
The end of the world. We got a few years to go. Enjoy it. Exactly. Get out on tour right now.
Yeah.
Very optimistic of you to say that.
Yeah, I must have been in a very optimistic mood because I don't always feel that way. So yeah, got me on that day.
Well, we're going to play the song, but before we leave you, I always want to give Joe an opportunity to tell you, Hamish, which is sort of an LA-ist now, an LA person, but if he's in Hollywood and maybe Joe can tell him a hot spot to either
hot spot in Hollywood? Oh man.
Path that
give it to me, Joe.
Hold on. Barry's really throwing me for a loop here because I haven't really checked into it.
I'll give you one.
Go for it.
It's Fred Siegel. Have you ever been to Fred Siegel?
Oh, I have. Yeah, it's very nice there.
I saw George Clooney there once reading a script, and I really hard to not say, would you like some more water? Like
there you go. I saw Mick Jagger's daughter there, actually, bringing it back to Mick Jagger.
Okay. All right. So you're in that neck of woods. Okay. So then maybe he doesn't need advice, but Joe, do you have anything for Hamish?
Well, like I said, there's one spot. I'm just trying to remember what the name is so I don't screw it up. But
we're
now
about to
I
go.
can't
Me and Joe are about to go to the Viper Room because I want to go to the Viper Room because it's about to close.
Like, that's right. Yeah.
Bulldoze that whole neighborhood. So it's like one and done. You know, let's get to the Viper Room. We can go.
It's a shame.
But yeah, I mean, Joe, go ahead.
The Griddle Cafe. If you've never been to the Griddle Cafe, it is an institution in Hollywood, and they have
to do that
fantastic pancakes.
Oh, there we go.
Fantastic pancakes. It is on Fairfax and Sunset.
Oh,
so pretty easy to get to. There is literally always a line. So
there we go. So it's got to be good.
It's fantastic, and you are almost guaranteed to see a star there. The last time I went, we saw Steve from 90210, Ian Ziering. That is a star. He was in Sharknado. He is a star.
Okay, fine. Okay, I give.
Forget about George Clooney.
Yeah, Ian Ziering for the win.
Oh, man.
Hamish. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Hamish Anderson. He's going to be on tour around the country, and he's coming back in 2024 to be on the show again. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Can't go on living and pretend, 'cause everything starts